Okay. Well, bottom line is thank you for coming. And all of you, thank you for being here. What we're creating is an incredible relationship. And what I'm going to share with you today is going to be very, very specific and very powerful to bless your life. But you have to understand, one of the greatest things of this business that you'll hear a little bit in a moment is relationships. People that you meet that literally become like-minded, bonded, that you'll support each other, do anything for each other. I can promise you this, it is unlike any other business you've ever done. The friendships that you make, the relationships that you experience, and what people will do for one another is extraordinary. Literally extraordinary. So, I'm going to share some things that today you've not heard before, that if you take note and listen to, will dramatically bless your life and everybody who you know. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in San Diego, California. I love people. Come from a Jewish background, so business is part of my blood. I'm going to share with you what I think is the perfect business. In fact, a business that is so perfect that if you can explain it, no matter who they are, no matter what they do, whether they're a doctor, an attorney, a professional, a business person, business owner, employee, an executive, they will want to do this, without a doubt. But before I do, since we talked about Regenica and products, and the uniqueness of these products, is that we have products that I call our giftable. And if we could turn on the light, kind of make it a little bit lighter. Is there a light kind of put on? Or that's part of the light? How is it?
So it's like right by the door there.
So we want to be able to make it be giftable. A product that you can be able to literally share it. Yeah, perfect. There it is. And yeah, perfect. Okay, so a product that you can be giftable, you can be able to share. So what I want you to know is that we have those products that you don't have to convince. See, one of the biggest problems that people have in any kind of opportunity is that there are products that people are unaware of, that they never used before, that are highly expensive, that they really don't want or need, but they have to be convinced through you and tell them a story of why they need something they normally don't ever use, and then they then do it in hopes that they could be able to have some kind of financial benefit, and when that doesn't happen, they what? They quit and stop. That model is a bad model. That model is a model that I will not participate in. We have products that are so powerful and so unique that you just mention it, and people raise their hand and they want it. So before I kind of share with you some things I have prepared, I want you to just kind of get a feel from my wife's perspective, having used the products or experienced the products and seen other people use and experience the products, what they do, particularly Regenislim and Regenerect, how they work, and then really what this business has done for us and what it can do for you. And then I'm going to share with you that vision, how to make that work in the specifics, and how you might be able to have that same benefit. See, when I come here, it's like I'm not here to present to any of you anything. I'm here to share with you things that will bless your life completely. And my success is only about you succeeding. It is the coolest, best way to ever have a business system. Literally, I came here on my own dime. I came here not because you paid me. I came here to invest time in Ann, Claudia, Mike, Ray, Terry, Richard, Ray,
Pauline.
I keep on going with everybody. Carol, Johnny, okay, Pauline. Here, John. Patricia, Karen, good to see you back there.
Diana.
And now I'm doing that even without name tags. Tony, okay, because I love seeing you guys. I want you to understand that it means a lot to me. It means everything to me to have you succeed. I had a talk yesterday with Ziggy. My heart was so touched. See, this is the business. And Johnny, what's the key to success in this business? You don't what?
Don't quit.
You don't what?
Don't quit.
You don't what?
Don't quit.
Don't what?
Don't quit.
Seriously,
Don't quit.
Okay. Okay. My point simply is this. Let me share this with you, and then I might have my wife come on. I have a sister who is 10 years younger than I. So that means that because of that, I was high school when she was not even in school, and then I was in college when she was in school. Anyway, she got around the wrong friends. She got around the wrong friends. If you ever had children or friends that did that, and good people could go kind of the wrong way. And she got around the wrong friends looking for approval, and she got into some things that she shouldn't, and she got into trouble, and she got kicked out of school. So she got into another school. And then, amazing thing, if you don't change the thinking, you got around you found the same kind of friends again, although with different names, different looks, same kind of friends. She got kicked out of school again. Then she got at a different school. Guess what happened?
Kicked out.
Kicked out again. Then she went to remedial school. That was even worse. So then guess what my mom did? Put her in homeschool.
Kicked her out.
Put her in homeschool. And then my sister didn't like that and she ran away. She's 15. She calls me. I'm at college. And she says, Mitch, my big brother, I need money. Can you send me money? And I have a rule that money is earned, not ever given. And I said, Serena, you got to go get a job. She says, well, I can't get a job. I said, why can't you get a job? Because she's 15, just young enough that she can have a work permit, not old enough to be 16 to get a job. So in her mind, she couldn't have a job. I said, Serena, how bad do you want to earn money and get a job? She says, Mitch, I need money, anything. I said, okay, I'm going to give you a job. And here's the job. She goes, what? I said, Serena, you live next to one of the biggest libraries in the country, the San Diego Downtown City Public Library. Massively huge. I said, Serena, there are books that I want to read that I just don't have time to read. Books that I just want to read that if you could be able to read for me, just give me a 1 or 2 page synopsis, I'll pay you $7 an hour. And back then, minimum wage was $3.50.
Wow.
She goes, you pay me $7 an hour? I said, I'll pay you $7 an hour to read. Just keep track of it every week. Then what you do is you fax me a sheet of the summary and how many hours you read, and I'll send you a check. So my sister went home. Watch what happens. What's your name, Mom? Oi. What is it?
Oi.
Oi? How do you spell that?
Oi.
Oh, I.
Love it.
Oh, I.
Like oi vey. I got that. Yeah.
I like that. Okay, wait. So basically, she comes home, she starts to read, and I give her a list of 20 books. And that list was Think and Grow Rich, How to Influence and Influence People, Autobiography of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, Babe Ruth story, The Magic of Thinking Big, Positive Thinking. The list went on. I gave her 20. Well, she began to read. And she began each week to give me the report through fax. Back then it was fax time. And I would send her a check every week. That was what she did. That was her job. That was her school. That's what she did. Week after week after week after week. She went through the 20 books, then 21 books, then 22 books, then 25 books. Then she started picking her own kind of books, week after week. A year went by. She read 172 books.
Wow.
I paid her $7,782. Her life changed. I said, Serena, she was now 16. I said, Serena, you've read more books than I've read, and you read more books than most anybody's ever read. I said, what did you learn that was truly the way to be successful from all these books? And at 16, she gave me a success formula out of nowhere. She goes, Mitch, something plus something equals success. And she says, what do you think it is? I said, well, she began to ask, what do you guys think it is? What would be something plus something equals success?
Perseverance.
You know what? That was
Perseverance.
the first one. The first one was persistence. Never what? First one was persistence. Now the second one, I've shared this. I teach the highest business class at Brigham Young University, the largest private university in the country. They got 68,000 students. And I have 10,000 people that would apply for the class. I only pick 1,000. We do it once a year called Friday Paydays every Friday. It was Business Management 471. I would teach this, and I would do it also to executives and CEOs. At most, they would get this. But most everyone would never get this.
Sharing.
The thinking, the
Sharing,
vibration.
thinking, gifting, knowledge,
Got to get started.
action, passion,
Desire.
Now, all these things are things that that successful people may have. Some have education, some have more passion, some have less. Yeah. But that wasn't it. Some are real disciplined, some are not very disciplined.
People.
Love.
People.
Love is a key one. I'm a big believer of love. but there are people that don't like, huh?
Communications?
Communication. Communication is a big key. Some people were great communicators, some people were terrible communicators. I'm saying this. What were the two things that were in every single story and book she read? What was the two common denominators?
For Buddhism would be pure energy.
Knowledge.
The pure heart, the pure energy, the pure intention of what you do.
Okay.
It's kind of same.
That's kind of part of that persistence. People had that. Passion, enthusiasm, purpose.
I'd say follow through.
Follow through.
God.
Kind of goes with the persistence.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for this?
God.
This would change. Yeah.
No. Give us.
Okay.
Please give us the answer.
This will absolutely change your life. Ziggy, this will change your life. And in fact, it changed hers and mine. Serena today is married to an incredible husband, has 4 children. She ended up being a high school dropout to then going to a university and being able to then graduate, top in her class, and now just has her talents. She's just a totally, unbelievably improved Serena.
Because of your being smart and you gave her a life.
Well, it was a blessing. In fact, I've now done it to hundreds of people. In fact, she was the beginning. I did it with my the younger brother, and I've done it with hundreds of people now, both old and young, and that's been a way that I now help people. When people come for money, I go, great, you need a job? Why? I got one for you. What is it? Here's your list.
Sharing it with
and
other
now I
people.
pay $10 an hour, by the way. But anyway. So, what do you think it was?
Sharing it with other people, paying it
Are
forward.
you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you.
It's gonna be something we all know. Too.
It is something you all know, but it's something that life, school, and the public education system has taught you wrong. It is the #1 reason why people do not succeed. It is the #1 reason why people do not succeed. It is in every single story, you name it. Kentucky Fried Chicken, Thomas Edison, Babe Ruth, Bill Gates, Michael Jordan. It is
Vision.
the reason.
Vision.
Duplication. This
Attitude.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Luck.
No.
Once you know this, all things are hard until it's easy. This is a 16-year-old, but read over 172 books. And because of that condensed thing, and her mind was free and clear, she realized clearly what it was. And when I tell you, you're going to go, duh. Anybody who's ever succeeded has done this. No exception.
Never quit.
That's persistence.
That's part of persistence.
Yeah.
The belief.
Vision.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Failure.
Oh,
Yes.
You cannot succeed unless you what?
Oh, the
Successful
contrast.
people are
Okay.
persistent failures. Hello?
The contrast,
Period.
yes.
Anybody who's ever
Oh my
succeeded
God.
in everything has had at least one, if not many, what?
Failures.
But no one ever teaches you that. So people don't start because they're afraid they may what?
Fail.
And then those who do start, when they do fail, they what?
Fail.
Because they don't know that in order to be successful, you have to.
Fail.
Hello? Isn't life better now?
Yes.
See? My point is this. When you
It's
confide
okay
in
to
someone,
fail.
someone doesn't show up. When you try something and it didn't work. When you had a business and it didn't go. Guess what? Congratulations.
Yes.
You're on your way to succeed.
Fail forward.
And when people, fail forward. When people say, oh man, you went to one of those meetings. I know people all the time that have failed in that. You're like, yeah, they told me. They did? Yeah. They're going to say, you're going to fail. Yeah, they told me that. They did? Yeah. I can't succeed unless I what?
Fail.
Successful people are persistent.
Failures.
But in school, failure's always what? Bad. In school, what do they teach you? Failure's always what?
Terrible.
And because you only hear people's success stories, and they don't tell you how they got there, we then assume that they became successful without what?
Trying.
Without
Failure,
failing.
yeah.
And the reason why people don't succeed today is they don't start because of fear of
Failure.
or when they do start and they have their first failure, they what?
Quit.
Because they think,
I'm gonna
I'm
fail
not going to
again.
be able to do it because I what?
Failed.
But the success formula is persistence plus
Failure.
how many of you have ever failed?
Oh my God.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Woo! You guys are part of the winning team. That means that you guys are one closer to what it is. Now, here's the deal. There's nothing, I failed. In fact, it's amazing. There's a Michael Jordan little commercial that Debbie and I just saw. And it's so beautiful. It's 2 minutes. Look it up on YouTube. But it says this. It shows him failing his high school team. It shows him messing up. It shows him not getting it. And this is what he says. I failed again. And then I failed again. And I failed again. And that is why I succeed. And that is why I succeed. Persistent failures are the successful people. You cannot succeed without failing. If anyone's told you they haven't told you their full story. They tell you their best truth. Anyone who's truly succeeded has had at least one, if not many, failures. The difference is they didn't quit and they persisted through. Once you know that, then it's okay to start. Because if you fail, you're on the way. And if you failed before, guess what? You're closer.
Yes.
Just don't
We
quit.
should be happy. That is different.
You
But
should-
it's better. The same thing with the darkness. The darker inside you, when you feel the darkness, you know the midnight really dark, right? And it's getting lighter and lighter. It cannot be darker than that.
You know what? Oh, I just said something about darkness. I learned this and it was so powerful. Get this. Remember this, you'll never forget it, because this was a great analogy. In order to have film be developed, it has to go in a what kind of room?
Dark.
In order, yes.
If you don't put film in a dark room, can it develop into a beautiful picture?
No.
It's impossible. In fact, if it only sees light, what happens to the picture?
Washed away.
It's ruined.
Yes.
Have you ever thought that in order for us to develop our character and to become great,
Oh gosh.
that it's important for us to go through a time of
Darkness.
Really dark.
hello? So if things seem dark, you're developing.
Yeah.
And you're going to come out to be a beautiful picture. Is that powerful?
It's a mess.
Forget about it. I mean, when people get that and understand that and know that, nothing can stop them. Nothing can stop them. So, there's so much more I want to share with you, but the bottom line is in order to understand this, I'm going to share about products to be able to be giftable, and I want to also understand the vision of why you're doing this and what you're going to accomplish. So if you could be able to please welcome my wife, Deborah Hume. I want her to share about these two products and also about the vision and the lifestyle that's created in relationships. So give Deborah Hume a hand.
All right, well, it's great to see everyone this morning, and great to be in Florida. I love everyone I've met thus far, so thank you for
Glad you're
warm
here.
energy. I love this product, and a couple reasons I love it. One, it's easy and effortless. And this is something you might share with your girlfriends, your mom, your neighbor. Easy and effortless. 2 words, I love to apply to as much as possible in life. Especially as women, we've got to-do lists, things to do, and we don't want to deny ourselves. We don't want to have to withhold. And I found with Regina Slim, I can eat what I want and still lose weight.
Yeah.
I can have my dark chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups and
One of
still
those in
lose weight.
years.
I have them every day. My husband knows. That was the first thing in my carry-on, my bag of dark chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups. And I can have Regina Slim, have great energy, feel wonderful. My appetite is naturally reduced. It puts you in a happy state of mind, and I can eat what I want. And if you add exercise and eat healthy food and more vegetables and all that, it will just add to your success. But right out the door, you can take this and have results. And that's what we all want. We want a product everyone wants and needs, and you have instant results. It's easy and effortless. So I'm a big fan of Regina Slim, and I can eat what I want and still lose weight. And again, if you want to expand and intensify your results, then you add other things, and that's a great opportunity to share. And it's just a natural. Women are always talking about their weight and what we eat and how we look, and so this is a great product, easy and effortless, and a giftable product. So love it. And Regenerate, don't have a sample here, but amazing product, and I'm super excited. Being part of this company and with Mitch as chief visionary, we have the opportunity to be on the ground floor, to meet these groundbreaking, revolutionary scientists who have already made millions and done incredible things and changed the world. And we have such a scientist that just joined our team. came up with an enhanced product, breakthrough technology. So I don't want to say everything because he explains it so beautifully and wonderfully. Has a passion to heal marriages, help people, total relationship guy. You know, he doesn't need to do this for his own success. He's already made millions, done, you know, patents on all kinds of things. But this new Regenerect is incredible. So September 15th.
Wow.
We've gotten to sample it, so I can speak with great confidence. It's incredible. And with this product, I want to say it's for men and women. You know, you can approach your women friends and say, you know, this is amazing. It really has improved our intimacy. It's helped our relationship. And you can go straight to men. And every man wants to know his full potential. Full potential. And it is for every man, whether he's 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I want to really encourage you and get you excited. September 15th. So, yay!
Wow, thank you.
But another thing that Mitch wanted me to mention is this business is a lifestyle business. It's been a huge blessing to us and our relationship. Not only the products are incredible, but we get to work together. I was talking to Carol, you know, and you were sharing that experience. You get to work with your husband and you get to have fun together. It's a fun business, fun, a people business. And people are wonderful. And when you get to bless people's lives, that's a whole other aspect. Not only the relationships that you make, the wonderful, incredible people you get to meet, like Anne. I got to meet Anne for the first time, and her sister. And, you know, it just expands and blesses and, you know, magnifies your life. It's incredible. Just here on this trip, you know, we are meeting with like 5 different couples. We've had adventures. It's incredible, and you know, I'm very grateful. And I want all of you to have that experience. You know, your life will be expanded, opened up, blessed in ways you can't even imagine. You can't even imagine. You know, like this week we're staying with an IBO, wonderful guy. Never would have met, you know, outside of this business, and you know, his whole life story experience, and got to go on his boat to dinner by dolphins, you know, and Bird Island. I mean, it was just incredible, just the experiences that we have all the time. But another thing, blessing people's lives. And we all have friends and family in all different economic situations, but the more I read and understand really what the average American is dealing with these days, you know, 60 to 90 days away from losing everything, no retirement, no residual income, let alone a vacation. You know, a lot of people are in survival mode, and this business is really at its core easy, and we're here to make it more easy and effortless and teach you, you know, great ways to expand upon that and to support you. You know, we want to support you. This is a relationship business. But people need this opportunity, and I really want to encourage you, you know, to bless people's lives and help give them a vision of what's out there, what's possible for them, and really, again, include that vision of expanded relationships, community, you know, teamwork. This is a people business, and we'll be talking more about that in the training this afternoon, and it's an incredible blessing. So. Thank you for being here today.
Okay, well now what I want to do is I'm going to get right into the nuts and bolts, but what I love to do always is, when we talk about product, I like to just show people. So, have you tried Regenerate yet?
No.
Would you like a gift?
I would love to, of course.
Okay, well let me tell you how that works.
So how many pounds I need to lose? Did you try?
But now,
How many pounds do I need to lose?
you know what, you're going to have more energy. Here's a glass. You're going to have more energy, and you're going to be able to lose whatever your body needs to lose. And I'm going to let you just take one, because you take one in the morning and then kind of one in the afternoon. There you go. And I'll let you keep this one. Take that. Okay. Now, real quick, did you see what I just did?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when OI takes that, and later on she has more energy, and she feels better, and her appetite's less, and then she has that, so she can take one a little bit later on, and then I give her one more, and I say, and I even give her a brochure too, so you can be able to see that. I say, you're gonna love that. This is one for you to have tomorrow or to give to a friend. Boom. Do you see what I just did? Now, how hard was that?
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
So that's very smart the way they make it. I mean, so easy.
Here's the deal. Why is it so easy? Because it's giftable.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it to give a?
Gift.
And most people always want to receive a?
Gift.
Especially if it's something they want. Who doesn't want to look better and lose weight? Who doesn't want to have better sexual experiences and better intimacy?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not telling them some crazy story about some berry in China, the Amazon, or Africa. We're just saying, hey, have you heard of Viagra? What do you have a natural Viagra? Have you heard of Pimpin? What do you have a natural Pimpin? Well, guess we have that, and this is what it does. And the next question is I what? I want it. I mean, this is a product that people what? Want. So now you give it to them, and this is what I have. They try it. After they try it, what happens?
They like
They
it.
like it. After they like it, what do they want to do?
Tell everybody.
They want to buy it and tell people,
Hey.
and then they don't want to live without it. So they don't want to live without it because once you've experienced that, then you don't want to stop experiencing that. And so this formula, and when they want to buy it, here's the coolest part. I then just take out my phone, and I just call right there to your one-step professional sales team, and let them then answer questions, and let her take the order. And guess what she says then? Oh, I could what?
I can do this.
Yes.
I could do this. That's the answer. I could do this. And so what I want you to see now is, so we have any thing to erase? Maybe just bring a napkin back there somewhere, and I can just erase that. Anyway, so once we have that, that's the product that we have. And so here's the vision that thank you. Here's the vision that I want to give to you. The vision is let's start. I'm going to give you right now in today's presentation, then we're going to take a break for lunch, and the training is I'm going to give you the dream that I see. I'm going to give you the perfect business that we have, but I'm going to tell you the problems that are out there, and then I'm going to tell you what the solution is. So the dream is this. I want you to understand this and see this. People who make money. Right now, what's your first name?
Spencer.
Spencer. And you interned at the
FBI.
At the FBI. Okay. Are you going to be part of the FBI, or is that something you want to do?
Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually.
Takes a
Okay.
while.
How much do they pay?
Oh, I have no idea. I think starting at like 40, 50.
Okay. So, how many years have you gone to school?
8 technically.
Okay. So 8 years of school.
Yeah.
You're probably a pretty good student.
Yeah, I try to be.
Try to get and he wants to get a job for the what?
FBI.
And they start out, what'd you say again?
40 to 50.
About 40 to 50,000. Is that a month or a year?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish it was a month.
Yeah.
So we can do that in a month.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here's Spencer, bless his heart. 8 years of school. Good guy, sharp, honest, hardworking. He's going to get a job at the FBI. And that's great. And he's going to start out making about 40 to 50,000 a year. Now, if he ever called up the FBI after he got a job and said, you know what, I really need to be with my family. They're going to go on a 3-week vacation, and I need to just take off for 3 weeks. Are they going to like that?
No.
Are they going to say, oh, just go and we'll pay you while you're gone?
Yeah, no.
Well, guess what? If you have something called residual growing income, that's what I call it, residual growing income, which I now have, which I didn't understand, which now you could each have. I had that experience. I went on a vacation. I was so excited. When I first got started, I went to Hawaii. When I went to Hawaii on vacation, I went for 3 weeks. I didn't have to get permission, didn't have to tell anybody, but because I was used to what you're used to, thinking, oh man, gone for 3 weeks, not going to be well, not going to get paid much, but I'm ready for a vacation, I've worked real hard, I'm going to go, come back, and even work harder. Well, I went, had a great time, came back, and then got a check for that month's work. I was gone for 3 weeks. My check came still. And guess what? It grew. My check grew by $7,500, Spencer. Wow. While I was gone on vacation for 3 weeks. You know how that makes you feel?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Just wanna go on vacation again.
Yeah.
Okay, do they do that, the FBI?
No, they definitely don't.
No. Okay, my point is this. Could you imagine what it means to be able to get residual income, to go on a vacation and you still get paid, to be able to now be able to be with your family, to be able to go do the things you love to do, and your income goes up? That's called residual income. You know how powerful that is? Could you imagine waking up in the morning when you want to wake up? Could you imagine doing what you love to do when you want to do it?
Yeah.
Could you imagine having the flexibility to set your schedule, that you'll work when you decide to work, and you won't work when you decide not to work?
Yeah.
How would that feel?
Probably pretty awesome.
Could you imagine being able to do this business anywhere in the country? or anywhere in the world? Could you imagine being able to build your business from the gym, from the golf course, from the pool, from friends, from your house, from your bedroom, from your office, from your backyard? I mean, could you imagine that? No. This is, the reason why I share this with you is because sometimes it's so inconceivable, just like persistence plus what equals success?
Failure.
And the reason why no one came up with failure, but every story you've ever heard about anybody being successful, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Abraham Lincoln, Babe Ruth struck out, and what?
Still struck out.
And still, but he what? He failed miserably, but succeeded incredibly. Okay, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh yeah.
That was an accident.
Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln, Hilton, Michael Jordan, Bill Gates, every story. Well, guess what they also don't teach? About residual income. That you could actually get paid without having to go to a 9-to-5 job. That you could get paid without having to sell or clock in an hour. That vision is powerful. And it's only through people that happens. This is a people business. So here's how it works. In the beginning, you may be spending a lot of time to plant the seeds, and your money may be smaller than you expect. Although we have some ways for you to make a lot of money quickly. Then you go through a time where you're spending a lot of time, or you're spending time building a business, and you're also making good money. But because this system is what it is, and you have leveraged income, and you grow this business, like we talked about yesterday, right?
Yes.
You then to be able to spend very little time doing exactly what you want, and making a literal fortune. Making $40,000 not just a year, but a month. Making $40,000 not just a month, but a week. Yes, Hal?
Yeah, I've been in the corporate center. I was corporate controller for various companies. You might have heard Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing. And I got out of that. And when I told my wife I was going to change careers, she thought I was nuts. Because I went to a business which is residual income, doing financial planning for doctors. I went where no one wanted to go. But to this day, I mean, I'm divorced now, but you know, at that time she thought I was nuts. And then she saw the residual income. You wrote that guy 10 years ago.
And you're still getting paid.
I'm still getting paid.
And you want to add something to what Hal experienced? Al wrote that guy 10 years ago, and he's still getting paid.
Right.
That's called residual income.
Right, exactly.
We have something that's that and more. I call it growing residual income. Wow. Because now Hal is going to get paid on someone he wrote 10 years ago.
Wow.
Plus that person may have written someone, and that person may have written someone, and that person may have written someone. So now Hal's going to say, I get paid on all these people I've written 10 years ago, but I get paid on the people they wrote, and I get people on they wrote, and I get people on the people they wrote, and I got people they still writing. Are you with me?
Well, that's what got me down here. I got an offer I couldn't refuse to run a company, and I had 450 reps throughout the country. So I was getting, obviously, what they were writing, too.
And now here's the deal. So now that's the leverage of 450.
Right.
So let me just put it this way. He had 450, and here's him. He's excited for residual income, right?
True.
But what if the business he had allowed those reps to duplicate, and they each got 2? Now he had how many reps?
900.
And they could each get 2. Now he had how many reps?
18.
And they could each get what?
2.
And then you have how many reps? And then you have how many reps?
7,200.
Do you see the power of progress? Yes.
What makes, is this different than any other MLM that's ever been on the market?
Yes, it is. Let me explain to you why it's different. Thank you for doing that. Here's the difference. Are you ready?
Yes.
Every other network marketing company, here's what happens. The 2% or 1% succeed, and the 98% fail. And the reason why, have you realized that most people fail in network marketing? Have you ever seen that?
But I've never seen it, heard it.
Okay,
A lot of negativity.
here's because people are not succeeding when they fail. Here's why they're failing. The reason why people are failing in network marketing is because they're expecting people to go out and sell and market the product. Does most people want to sell to family, friends, and neighbors?
No.
The truth?
No.
Does most people have the skill set to close people, take someone's credit card and sign them up?
No.
Every other network marketing company expects, and that's how you get paid, is they say, look, we're not going to pay you commission to go out and sell to the people you know, family, friends, and neighbors, and then they're going to go out to sell to people they know, family, friends, and neighbors. And because 98% can't do that, won't do that, it's against their nature. See, I built a group with 600,000 distributors in 22 countries, doing $480 million. And I found out that the few of us was making our successes upon the failures of the masses. Because we're out there saying you could do it too, but I found out that most everyone, what?
Can't.
Why? Because for the normal 98%, I found out it's against their nature. They don't want to be rejected. They don't want to overcome objections. They don't want to take someone's credit card, and they definitely don't want to sell to their family and friends. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so therefore, the only people making it are the few people that have the ability to talk to family, friends, and neighbors. Hey, how are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
The only people who are making it are the people that are pumping up that tire. And they're pumping up that tire, and as fast as they pump up that tire, air's going out. So they have what I don't call residual income. You know what they have? Promotional income. They're constantly pumping up a tire that's going down. Because as fast as people come in, people are what? Going out. So that's the problem of all other multi-level or network marketing companies. They have 98% plus failing because it's all dependent upon you to go out and sell to family and friends. Well, after about 15 years, I'm like, how can I help people truly succeed? What can I do? So I would train them more. I would motivate them more. I would help them more. I would do everything I possibly could to be able to help those masses succeed. You know what I realized? They still wouldn't. You know what it was like? It was like trying to get rabbits to swim. What does that mean? Rabbits don't what? You could throw 1,000 in the pool and maybe 1 or 2 may figure it out. I realized that no matter how much training I did, no matter how much support I gave, I realized one huge thing that would not change. You know what it is? Human nature. Human nature is that people don't want to sell to their family and friends. Period. People don't want to overcome objections or take rejection. Period. But I did find out over the years, having the largest seminar company in the country, that people would take out their credit card and spend money for an opportunity, or spend money for a way to become better, to make more money. But still 98% failed. Why? They had to still go do something. They were the point of failure. I go, what am I thinking? I keep on having to help you be succeed and you keep on failing because I'm asking you to do something that you won't do. I said, if people outsource payroll to paychecks, or they outsource clean their homes to Mary Maids, why not have people outsource the very things they don't want to do or can't do to professionals? So I said, what if I added a whole concept of professional salespeople called the one-step millionaire, and that means that no longer you would have to sell, they would do the selling for you. So now the first thing, and your first name again was?
Sandy.
Sandy? So now once I give it to you, Sandy, let's say I give you the gift, right? By the way, do you have a glass of water? Anybody have a glass of water?
I'm not gonna take it right now. I'll just wait.
Okay, so my point is, as soon as I give you this gift, and you try it, for Sandy.
I'll just drink.
Okay, so as soon as I give you this and you try this, then what happens is you get to experience it. You may have more energy, it may cut your appetite, it may have
FDA
food. It's not FDA approved because it's a dietary supplement, but it's in an FDA approved manufacturing drug. So you can't approve FDA unless it's a drug, but it's FDA supported. It's done under the manufacturing guidelines. So it's all natural, no drug inside. So anyway, so you take it, and then you have that experience. And then when you're ready to be able to buy it and say, hey, Mitch, that really worked. I want to get more. I can now say to you, Sandy, guess what? I don't do the selling. I don't do the sign-ups. I have a professional team that does that. And I then take out my phone and get you on the phone with a professional that can answer your questions, tell you all about it. If you want it, they can be able to get you the product at a price. They can be able to sign you up. And so therefore, I don't have to do the selling. So I could give this to people I know. I could give this to people I don't know. I could pass out this gift, and when they want to know more, the pressure for me to sell is off my shoulders. That concept, no one's done. I patent that. It's a business method patent, and that is that people who are in the business of direct sales, now they don't have to personally sell. They can just be gifters, not sellers. Yes?
So let's say that the person that you gave it to is ready to order and they
Yes.
contact the sales team.
Yes.
will the sales team then say you have an option of just buying or becoming a
They go through the whole
representative,
process.
a distributor
Yep,
yourself?
and they do everything, and so they'll basically answer your questions, tell you about the product, and then say, hey, you also have the opportunity to get your product for free or make money with it. Like, wow. And then this person says, well, can you do the same thing you're doing for Mitch that was Sandy would ask or you would ask, right? And then they'd be able to do the same thing. So that duplication happens, where now you have a professional team that does the what for you.
Selling.
How do you think people feel when they know they don't have to sell?
Amazing.
How do you
Yippee.
think people feel when they know they don't have to take someone's credit card to sign them up?
Yippee. Relieved.
You know what business people do? Your first name again?
Jeff?
Jeff. Jeff's a successful business person. Well, guess what? He's not going to go do the sales himself. He's used to what? Hiring salespeople. So now he has salespeople that are going to do the selling for him. He knows that. That works. That's what successful people do. But what's the problem in this industry is no one has that element. So they're dependent upon the masses, the 98%, to go do what we already know they're what? Can't do, don't want to do, don't have time to do, or just don't
Want to do
want
it.
to do. Are you with me? It's like uncomfortable. So now you have a whole team that does that. So now for everybody that you give this to, that will happen. But I said, that's good. But there are some people that say, I don't have anybody to talk to.
Huh.
Or I don't have family, friends, and neighbors. Or I've talked to, it is kind of crazy, but let's just say they have that. So guess what I said? I got you covered. They go, what do you mean? Well, if you don't have friends, I got friends for you. How do you do that? Well, I've spent $2 million a week, every week, for years doing direct response marketing to create customers. So I said, why not now have professional marketers who do marketing with TV and radio and ads selling Regenislim and what? Regenerect. So people now buy it, creating customers, and now those customers could be sold by the salespeople and could be acquired by the distributor. So therefore now if someone says, hey, I don't have family, friends, and neighbors, guess what? You can buy them.
Buy them. Oh my goodness.
And they'll be sold by your salesperson. So Sandy, why would I do that? Why do I need this? Is because in direct response, there's a big pro and there's a big problem. The pro is you have credibility because people believe what they see on TV or what they see in print. The pro is you have customer acquisition. You know what the negative is? Attrition. People try the product, there's no relationship, they stay for a month or two and they quit. So now the salesperson, let's say, what's your first name?
Denise.
Denise. Let's say that I gave the product to Sandy. Sandy liked the product, and Sandy wanted to be able to get the product and also even build a business of residual income. So therefore, Sandy then basically gets it, and Sandy then basically says, well, I want to buy a customer. And let's say that Denise, you saw this radio or ad, and you got it as a customer. And Sandy bought a customer and it happened to be you. So I'm the salesperson, and I'm talking to you, Denise. And I said, Sandy, just so you know, you've been sponsored by someone very special that also loves this product, and you may want to hear their story because it really works. Wait 1 second. I get Sandy on the telephone. So all that Sandy needs to do now is use the product, be a gifter, or if she buys a customer, be a what? Congratulator. That's the retention. So I say, Sandy, I got Denise on the line. Denise just got the product. I know you've been on the product for 2 months. Can you tell her your story? Hi, Denise. I've been on the product. It cut my, like Ziggy said. How many saw his testimony yesterday? Like who has a story of losing weight on the product? Okay, pretend that you're Sandy right now. Ziggy, you tell your story right now to Denise. Let's say that you bought Denise. Hey, Ziggy, I have on the line Denise. Denise just saw this ad, just bought the commercial, just bought the product, and I told her that you're her sponsor and that you've been using the product for a couple of weeks. Can you just tell her your story real quick?
Sure, I can. That'd be great. You know, I started the product. Somebody introduced me to it. A little skeptical at first, but I tried it. It cut my diet in half. My appetite is almost down to nil. I sit down now. I eat almost as much as my 7-year-old could eat. I've lost 27 pounds in a month, and I feel great. I have so much energy. I'm just bursting with it. I get up in the morning and I'm going all day long. I had spinal surgery, and I don't even have the symptoms that I used to have with my back. I just feel great. I'm not even taking the pain medication anymore. Okay, all the natural supplements that are in this have taken care of all the inflammation in my back and everything, and I just feel wonderful. You're really going to love it.
Thank you.
Now, let me stop you real
How do you
soon.
buy the customer?
It's real. It's
That's the piece I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna get it for you, Sandy, because when you ask that question, it's my most favorite question. I will never do multi-level, ever. I hate it, because everyone fails, it's not good, and it's a deception. What we're doing is something no one's ever done. We're combining 3 industries: the power of relationship marketing, the power of professional sales, and the power of direct response. 3 separate and distinct successful industries. I'm taking the bad away from each and only keeping the good. So here's how it works. Did you see what happened just with Ziggy and Denise?
So does that mean that he's
Yes.
gonna now benefit from her
Forever.
getting either
Here.
buying the product?
And also, if she decides to share the product and tell other people, she's forever in his organization. So he's not going to get paid on Denise, not just for her as a customer, but if she says, wow, and then Ziggy also says, by the way, Denise, just so you know, I now get my product for free, and I'm making $2,400 a month. I don't know if you'd like to do that too, but you could sponsor other customers like I do, and you could be able to build a business. So what happens then is that now we've set up Ziggy for success. We've now set up Denise to be more committed to the product. Because if you ever, how many of you ever bought something from TV on infomercial? Okay. Have you ever got a call from a customer to tell you how great the product is? The answer is never. Listen to what I just said. Have you ever bought any, this is so novel, so powerful, so amazing, so right on. Have you ever bought a product from an infomercial and was able to talk to a real customer after you bought it and they told you their story?
Never.
The answer is what?
Never.
Never.
But now what I'm creating is, because I've had the biggest direct response, the biggest sales floor with hundreds of the best salespeople. So Sandy, what I'm creating now is combining all 3. So here's how it works. Hey Denise, how did that feel hearing Ziggy's story, by the way?
Oh, that's great.
Was that kind of fun?
Yeah.
I mean, if you bought a product and you got to hear a sincere, real person who really had a real story and was telling you about that, that just alone is like, wow. That first catches you off guard. Second of all, it makes you feel much better about the product. So here's what happens. So let's just take that this is Sandy, right? Or let's just take Ziggy, since Ziggy now did that. So Ziggy now basically got the product. He now basically, we're creating customers, Sandy, okay, on a daily, weekly basis. And Ziggy says, I want to buy a customer. And customers would cost anywhere from $50 to $100, depending what it costs for a customer. So he buys a customer. That customer is sold by the sales team. Denise then comes in his organization, right? He then could do a congratulation call. And he could be able to then help solidify Denise, where Denise now wants to stay on the product. And Denise may also decide that she wants to buy customers or gift it. So there's 2 ways to get customers. Gift it to people you know, or buy them, right? Gift and buy. So let's say that Ziggy also gifts the products to people. Let's say he gifts 100 products, right? And if those 100 products he gifts, let's just say 5 of those people take it. So let's just say we have 5. I just want to give you the big picture so you can see this. And if those 5 people say, I'm going to give 100 gifts, or buy 5 customers, now you have 5 more, that's 25. And if they do 100 gifts and they have 5, now you have 125. And they do 100 gifts and you have 5, that's now 675. And they do 100 gifts and you have 5, that's now 3,000 people. And it grows like this. So my point is by giving gifts, if only a small percent of them say, I like it, I want to get it, just 5 out of 100, then you have 5 customers who say, I want to do the same thing you did, Ziggy, what'd you do? Well, I got 100 gifts and I passed them out to people. And of those 100 that I gave out, only 5. Now we get much better than 5, but let's just say 5. So if you have now 3,000 people, 4,000 together, 4,000 people spending $100 a month on losing weight or having better intimacy is how much in total volume each month? 4,000 times 100. Okay? And if Ziggy gets a 10% commission, what's 10% of 400,000?
40,000.
So Ziggy is making 40,000, Spencer. How often? This is a volume every month.
Oh, monthly.
Monthly.
Yeah.
Now, if he has, not only does he not have 5 people do it, but let's say that says 90% of that doesn't happen. Let's say that 90% of that fails. What's 10% of 40,000?
4.
Still.
$4,000 a month.
Which can still change people's lives.
Let's just say another 90%. Let's say 1/10 of 1%. $400. How many people, if they made $400 a month for simply taking a product, would help them? Let alone 1,000. Let alone 2,000 each and every month. So now, Sandy, when you say what's different, Every other company is just this. They don't have professional salespeople to sell for you, and they don't have professional marketers to create customers. The reason why the 98% fail, because they don't know how to sell, they don't want to sell, they don't know how to market, and they can't get customers. So if you can outsource that, that's the power of this. This is what true business people do. They outsource that. But in direct sales, it was always upon your shoulders. You had to do it. So for the first time in history, since 1949, period, end of story, you could actually enter a business and not only have a giftable product that you could give away, and people try it, like it, and they want to buy it. Simple as that. But on top of that, you don't have to then follow up, fill out an application, sell them, and get them started. You could just make a phone call. We could call right now, and you can see exactly how that works. Then you could also get customers. So Denise, are you getting how this works? Do you see how this is different than anything else out there? Sandy, are you seeing how this works? Is it connecting with you? So the way you buy customers is the company's creating customers. You could buy none, some, or a ton. You can have a team of salespeople working for you for pennies on the dollar, or you don't have to, but it's there for you.
But what would happen if the company grow like 100,000 people? You have to create more salesperson then?
Yes, and we will scale and grow as the need of the people. And we have all that in place, that we're scalable, and we have all the people trained and ready and the systems in place. So as big as you want to grow, as many customers as you want to get, as many people you want to give to, this works, grows, and
But
builds.
you also can create your own
without that.
Correct. And you have so many people, like if I have the whole country.
Yeah. And all you have to do is and do what I just did with you. And the products that we have are products that people want. They try it, they like it, and they want to buy it. So the only way you could fail is if either one, you don't plug into the system, or two, you don't what?
Give it away.
And I never give a product unless I what? So Sandy, the reason why I did that with you is because a lot of people, when they started this business, they were gifting. And they're like, I gave out 50 and nothing happened. I said, did they take it? I don't know. Did they use it? Well, I don't know. Because sometimes you just give somebody something, they're not sure, and they maybe put it away, and then after they, what is it?
Then you gotta call them back.
They gotta call them
Did
back.
you? Oh, I forgot.
So Sandy, what I've learned that works and blows up the business is whenever I give this to someone.
And Denise, how do you feel?
Yeah, just started to feel a little bit of it. But you can't
did
do
you
that
just
with
taste it right now?
I had
took
to
it a
give
little
about
earlier
an hour
when I
ago,
got here.
hour and a half ago.
Oh, did you? Great. Did she give you one or two?
No, one.
Okay, you gotta give you one more. Because here's how it works. You always give one that you open and one that you keep, so that tomorrow you can take it again or give it away.
Thanks. But I like your idea about only giving it if they're ready to
All
try
the
it.
time.
But you can't do that necessarily with the Regenerate. You're not going to say, can you take it right now, please?
We did yesterday.
We did that last night.
Unless you're with the
We had a
the
victim
spouse.
already.
Let me tell you how it works. Let me tell you how it works.
I mean, right on the spot.
Yeah, I actually do it right on the spot. And here's why. Here's why. With the Regenerate, and here's the deal, Denise. One, I always tell them, are you in a committed relationship? Because I want to promote marriage and great relationships. But the great thing about Regenerate, just like Regenislim, meaning you're going to feel more energy, your appetite's going to decrease and go away, and you're going to have a feeling of happiness. Well, with Regenerate, there is the feeling comes. So you know that it's working. And so you don't have to do something to know that it's working. And so my point is, and I always give them two, so that they have another one to be able to use as well. And it works for day 2 or 2.5. And so you start to feel it within an hour or two, and it works for a day or two. So that's why it works very, very simply, very, very powerful. And I give 2, and that's how I make that work. And it's very, very simple. And if people need to know more information before they take it, fine, great. I mean, I give them a brochure, they can read about it, they use it. The bottom line is safe, it's natural, it's under FDA-approved manufacturing plants and GMP plants that are the guidelines in manufacturing for the FDA at the highest level, so it's pharmaceutical grade. So it's tested. Every group that we do, we test at the labs and we publish it, that what we say in it is natural and safe. No other company does that, that's natural. We actually get our product tested at FDA labs and publish the results.
Wow.
So that people, because a lot of times, nutritionals of the past you don't know really what's all in it. So we don't say, hey, just take our word for it. We make sure that every batch we do is tested and then published, so that you can see exactly that it's clean, good, and great. And with that, with every batch, because sometimes we can get raw materials that could be effective. And so we always want to make sure that every single batch we're safe.
What happened with the couple already have emotional detached, like totally nothing, and then husband and wife take it, but yet they don't have the emotional, so they have to go and find a lover?
No, you just bring in a third party to be.
That's what I'm thinking, exactly. I mean, really, because this has to do with emotional, because it's not, because we are not animal, we just like, so we need to have like a passion, but yet they're already emotionally detached completely. What you gonna do? You ready for that responsibility of finding them lovers?
So let me answer that, and then I'm gonna wrap up with some things, and then we're gonna do our training. Oh, I said something. First of all, I would like to give this to people that are in a relationship, the regenerate. Are you in a relationship? And so I want to get so the bottom line is I want them to take it if they are in a relationship. Number two, the new regenerate works on the brain chemistry, creates a feeling of euphoria and love, increased dramatically, in addition to just making someone able to be able to have sexual interaction, as well as the sensation. So it's a product that blows away Viagra, blows away Cialis, blows away any product out there, because it gives you that brain chemistry of euphoria and the feeling of that. On top, that's the original Regenerate didn't. It just made someone, the erection. So it's powerful. It is a marriage-saving, relationship-enhancing product.
And the new one's coming out September 15th.
So what you need to do right now is this. So here's the thought process, and then I want to, because it's almost 1, I want people to hit lunch, and then I want to be able to do our training. So, and I want to talk to you about the perfect business and the problem and the solution, but here's what happens. Let me just kind of tell you an action. This whole business is built upon use and gift, right? And once you gift, since you have someone else who's going to sell, all you need to do is what? Congratulate. So write down congratulate. Can people gift and congratulate?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. But guess what? You don't even have to, because you could just take the product, have your salesperson, and buy customers. And you don't even have to do the congratulation call. Even though the salesperson will facilitate it, you can decide not to. But do you think that the niece is going to be a much better customer and that the retention will be much higher if she could hear from a real customer what it is and what it's done?
Are you only congratulating if you bought that customer?
Yes. Yeah, so you only congratulate the ones that you bought. Or you congratulate the ones that you gave gifts to that then call in and sign up. So you'll congratulate people that you bought or people that you gifted. So this business is a very, very simple business. So Sandy, I love your questions, because for me, I've been in this business for 15 years in seminars and network marketing. Built 2 of the largest on both in the world. And you know what broke my heart? That I would sit with people like this. They would take notes. They would want to succeed, and then not. And I would motivate and train. I would help. I would encourage. I would get better plans and better compensation and better support. Finally, after 15 years, building billions, I'm like, I'm done. I can't help you. Go work at McDonald's or the post office. There's nothing else I could do for you. I've done everything I possibly can. And then I became just an investor. I was going to retire. My wife and I live on the beach in Dana Point. It was done. And I got hit like with a baseball bat saying, Mitch, you have a calling on your life to help the 98%. I said, I've been trying to help the 98% for 15 years. I am exhausted. I'm sick and tired. They don't do squat. They come take notes. They go home. They come take notes again. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And then it hit me, Mitch, they're wonderful. They're great. They're spectacular. You love them, and you know you do. You've been asking them, though, to do something that you shouldn't be asking them to do. What will they do? And I realized over all those years, they will always spend money for an opportunity, and they'll take a product. But the problem is they've always been the point of failure. They had to then go do something. They had to go do what they learned. And that's what then cut the 98%. Because what they had to go do was not just that they were lazy, they weren't. It was against their nature. It's like, hey, rabbit, you came to a swimming school, rabbit. Now go swim. Rabbits aren't built to what?
Swim.
They're built to run. So I could put them through 100 schools, give them 100 DVDs, and give them 10 seminars, and they can take all the notes you want. But if I put 1,000 rabbits in the water, maybe 1 or 2 is going to swim and the rest won't. So finally, a guy hit me with a baseball bat going, Mitch, if you really want to help people succeed, what they really want, they don't want a sales tool. They want a salesperson. They don't want to lead. They want a customer. They don't want you to tell them how to do it. They want you to do it
For them.
for them. And then people say, well, Mitch, That's not fair. Why are you going to do it for them? Why don't you just do it yourself then? Why don't you just cut these people out and do the sales, do the marketing, and be done?
But it's not your calling.
Because you can reach is more
No
much
Two
more
fun.
people.
reasons.
No fun.
One, you're right, it's not my calling. But two, economically, I realized that it's a win-win. I value what you can do. Meaning, I realize that if I just created a customer, okay, Denise, and you saw an infomercial, and I sold you, and you bought a customer, you're going to last for 1.7 to 2.3 months. That's it. Done. So I'm constantly going through more and more customers. They come in, they go. They come in, they go. So I realized that if I let the people part of it be part of it, the relationship part of it, and I could get a Ziggy who will pay my marketing costs and overhead, and I'll share the commissions with him forever. I would rather have a smaller piece of a customer that will last for months or years than all of a customer that won't last for a month or two. I also would rather have a free, scalable retention army. I'm going to have the biggest customer service retention army in the world with no overhead. They're independent business owners. As fast as I get more customers, I get more what? Business owners. No one is going to have a retention team like I'll have. I will have millions of people like Ziggy who's ready and anxious anywhere in the world on his yacht, on the boat, on the beach, playing with his kids, going, "Hi, Denise." "Oh, that's my kids playing. I just want to let you know, this is amazing. The product you have, this is what happened to me, this is what's going. And by the way, I've been now doing this for a year. And let me tell you also the story, because I'm now also a business partner. And this is what happens. I get a bit of a benefit from the infomercials and the salespeople. What are you going to think when you hear that call? She's probably going to say, "Can I do it?"
Yeah.
He's living the American dream. I can see myself doing that too.
And that's the key, Denise, what you just said. I can see myself doing it too. Up until now, all that people ever had was this. And so you'll see Mike up front, or Ann up front, or me up front and go, that sounds great. I want to do it, but you're going to say, I can't do what?
What they do.
I can't do what they do. Now the whole process is you can do what they do. So I want to be able to have us have a bathroom break and a lunch break, but here's the conclusion. This is for you, Sandy, this is for you, Denise, this is for you, OI, this is for the whole team. Your commitment is to use the product and plug into the system, and if you want to go to the next level, you gift and you congratulate. You gift to people that you know, and you congratulate to those who sign up, and you could also then be able to buy customers. And so here's how it works. Very, very simple. 3 steps. Number 1, you become an independent business owner and you get the product. That's $209. Okay? You own $1 million business. You have no employees, no payroll, no FICA, no overhead, no leasing, no manufacturing, no shipping. The company does that all for you. You have literally a multi-million-dollar business in a box. All you have to do is use the product, gift, and congratulate. And every single week, they pay you a check. They'll deliver the product to all of your customers. They'll pay all of your independent business owners. So all that you have to do is get one check. When you get that check, Sandy, what do you have to do with it?
Cash it.
Deposit it. If you can't do that, then deposit it, right?
Actually, they deposit it for you,
What?
by the way.
Every month?
Every week.
Direct deposit.
You don't even have to deposit it. It goes right to your bank, by the way.
Yeah.
I
There's-
got an email. We put money in.
Yeah, we'll go through all that.
That's a fun email.
Okay, it is a fun email. So there's many ways to get paid, but you get paid weekly and monthly, 7 different ways. Number two, if you're going to give out products, what do you have to do? You have to get gifts. I recommend you get at least 100. You get 100 gifts. You get 100 gifts. Why? Because if I give 100 gifts
5.
and only get how many?
5.
And they give 100 gifts and only get how many?
5.
And they give 100 gifts and only get how many?
5.
I can make as much as $40,000.
$40,000.
And if only 90% of that didn't happen, I can make as much as what?
400.
By
4,000.
just by giving out what?
Gifts.
100.
That's it. Now the next step is after I do that, then I have the choice if I want to plug into the sales system, and also if I want to buy customers. That is simply the duplication of the process. And the way it works is that when you sign up, Denise, let's say I was the person, I give you, so let's say you order 100, I'll give you 10 of my own, or even 20, so you can give that back to me when you get yours. So during the 5 to 7 days that you're waiting, you don't have to wait. You can start gifting right away and start making money that very same week. So the 100 that you buy, you'll be giving them away 2 ways. 2 by 2, or 10 or 20 at a time, for those that say, I want to also do the same thing you've done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you immediately move the product, you immediately help people get started, there's no waiting, there's instant duplication. That's what makes it happen rapidly. We have people making $10,000 a month their first 30 days.
Well, in the IDO for $209, do you have a certain amount that are included for you to gift?
Yes,
How many?
$100 worth of product.
$100 worth of product, not
Yeah.
100 packets.
No, yeah, you'll get 20 to 30 packets in that.
And what you're saying is you should buy some more to be, and what is the cost to buy sample packets?
They're anywhere from $3 to $1, depending how much you buy. So if you bought 100, I think that'd be about $200.
Okay, based on volume.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Do you have to be at a certain level to start buying?
Nope.
No, no level.
So you don't even have to gift, you can just buy custom.
And that is what has attracted many. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was in with a very successful business guy from Sweden, and he took out his credit card and said, "Mitch, I am in." I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I like this. This is very good." I said, "You're in what?" He goes, "This I like. Here's my credit card. How many customers can I buy?" Debbie was right there. And business people are seeing.
Why are they $50 to $100?
It's whatever they cost us. Meaning marketing. If you're ever a marketer,
Like leads for a
media
company.
and time costs different. So whatever it costs to create that customer. So it's in that range.
Depending on the marketing.
Just week by week. Sometimes TV time costs more. Sometimes people respond less during the year. We get like our cost is very cheap during January and February because everyone's trying
All
to
right,
lose
so if
weight.
you're doing TV,
Yeah.
then it's going to be higher.
So on some months, bottom line is this. Let's just say it's $75. The point is that it's going to sometimes marketing costs more or less, but whatever the customer costs, marketing is an art and it's a moving target, and so the months of the year cost different, media time costs different times of the day. Sometimes the people are buying real well, sometimes buy a little less. But basically, we're the best at what we do, so we're getting the best acquisition price we can. So whatever that best is, we're going to pass that to you. So I'm just giving you a range so that you don't have an unrealized expectation, because that's the honest truth, is that we don't want to charge you more or less, we want to charge you what it is.
Don't you think as the product gets more and more well known and as Regenerate hits the market that that's going to be just the pool to be in?
So Carol, in closing, and then we'll take a lunch, here's the deal. Carol, what we're doing is also creating brand awareness.
Yes.
So now what's happening is, unlike all the other multi-level companies, Sandy, it's always a product that people have never heard of, never saw on TV, it's never been advertised, because they're expecting distributors to do it, right? So now for the first time, when I now take this out, I was going to go, oh, is that what I saw on TV? Oh, is that what I heard on radio? So therefore, it becomes easier. All boats rise when the tide goes.
Household.
It becomes a household name. And we're going to have it on the news, we're going to have it on the media. So, how many of you are not yet a customer or an independent business owner? Raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You mean of this?
Yes, 6. Okay, so we have 6 of you. So what I want to do.
Ask how many at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yes. Well. Well, what happened to your 5 guests yesterday? Carol?
Here's 2 right here, sweetie. They're ready.
Okay.
They just need to make the call.
Well, yeah. And what I'm going to also give you also is.
And one of them gave me their credit card. Actually, 3 out of 5 this year.
Here's what I want to do. Can I have Mike and Claudia and Ann help me out? Because I want to show you something real quick. I want to give the people that raise their hand literally an application. I want to give them a brochure, and I want to give them 2 gifts. So if we could be able to do this. Boom. We can get an application and maybe those right there, and 2 gifts. So hands being raised, Patricia.
Yes, you have one though.
Yeah, she needs more.
Now, real quick.
Mitch, also one thing I found out, that if you sign up as an IBO and you buy that extra product up front and then you gift it and they like it, they're going to do what you did. It's duplication. And if they see you doing that, they're going to do the same thing. So it's an automatic repetition thing. So you're automatically getting them to buy the same thing you did when you signed up.
So I have to say something. It's good because I had 2 hours sleep last night, but I did meditation with the monk until like 1 something and had to get up at 5. I went to sleep about 2 and got up at 5 and I was really tired and it's good. I just need to know a little bit more in the way of caffeine, how it works. Because but it's in here.
We'll go through it with you during the training. We're going to take a break and then we'll get all that. But, so is it working for you?
It's I feel good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and I really trust my body 100%, but I know my body.
Good. That's a good testament. That's a
Oh,
really
absolutely,
good testament.
because, you know, I have my whole health spa at home. That's what I do with people. In fact, believe it or not, I'm in the tennis team. 3 people yesterday came, I had a tennis practice, like, could you help me lose weight? I said, when you are ready, then I will talk to you. But at that time, I'm doing with another company right now that about to be open in Thailand. I took to Thailand and the whole country. I just signed up CEO of the Thailand. But it's not the same thing. So this doesn't interfere. It's gonna add to it.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's a difference there. But it's all natural as well.
And it's giftable.
This is easier. Yeah, this definitely easier.
Okay, look what she said. This is definitely
Easier.
And if it's easy, what happens?
Duplication is much easier.
And so what we've done is we've done something. What did Debbie say in the beginning? She said easy and
Duplication.
yeah, but she said it was E and E. Easy and effortless.
Effortless. Yes,
Easy
exactly.
and effortless. Because now the efforting is done by the salespeople and the infomercials.
See, you are very smart. You know the nature of people.
And look what she said. Look what she
Nature.
said. She says, I'm very smart. Why?
But you know the nature of people.
Can I share something with you? I give God the credit on that. I got frustrated with people because I didn't know yet. I was frustrated. I almost became cynical because I'm like, I really want to help people. And I'm like, man, what else can I do?
Yes.
I know, you're like, man. But guess what's happened? God hit me with a baseball bat and helped me see the nature of people. And because I had the largest direct response company and the largest professional sales company, I realized, just put it together, give them what they want, to have someone do it for them, but value what they can do. And what they can do, I value.
But you accept that.
I accept that. And when I accepted that, unstoppable.
Wow.
And people go, Mitch, sign me up. That was the breakthrough. And I didn't want to give up on people. I kept on thinking.
But it's your calling.
That's a calling. And instead of being, and because of the experiences I had, I knew that if I added this and this, then the people could succeed. Without this and this, you'll always have 98% fail. Always, no matter what, if not more. But with this and this, I allow people to be what? Them. I make it be that who they are and what they are is good enough. What you could do is perfect. What you could do, I value. What you could do, I can make it work. I value Denise. I value you, Sandy, that you'll take a product consistently. I value that you'll take your credit card and buy a customer that helps me support the marketing machine. And I value that you'll either gift to new people that then could come into the system. So that's marketing that I don't have to pay for. And I'll share commissions with you for as long as they take the product. And I also value that you could do something that no other direct response company has ever or could do because it's cost prohibitive. You could be the retention team. You could call up and be the walking, talking, living billboard testimonial. No other direct response company on planet Earth could afford to do that. They would go broke. But I could do that because I have all these people that are like partnered business owners. Because help me, help you. We share the revenue of that customer. You now are incentivized the same way I am, is to what? Keep them and retain them, love them, and support them. And at the same time, in order for you to do that, you commit to take the product every month. And those people commit to take it every month. It is the perfect synergy to allow human nature to be human nature. And therefore it becomes easy and effortless for all three.
You cannot take a horse to the river and make it drink.
Tell me about it.
Push their head in there, they're going to choke to death. You have to let them sit there, and if they decide that they're thirsty to death, that's their karma.
And guess what this? And then I'll ask you a question, Denise. Oh, I just said something so amazing that I saw. You can't push a monster water to drink. If you stuff their head in the water, you know they'll choke and they'll die because they don't want to drink. So here's the bottom line: now that they can just gift, and now the salespeople do it for them, it's easy and effortless. But there are some people that are still don't want to yet gift, so they just want to buy customers. You know what happens after they buy 5, 10, 15, or 20 customers? It's called reverse psychology. They can't help now to tell everybody they know. You know what? I'm making money and I'm not even talking to anybody. So they start what? Talking to everybody. Because let me tell you why. Here's the psychology. Are you ready?
Yes.
Up until now, I have to talk to every other company. I have to talk to someone to make money. You need to buy so I can make money. So therefore, there's that uncomfortableness of I'm signing you up, but I'm really doing it for me because if you get in, I make money. So it's hard for me to even talk. But now if I'm making money without you, and it's really working, well, now I'm excited to go, oh, what? To your sister, your brother, aunt, this deal, I'm making money, and guess what? I just put my credit card, I take the product, and they're buying customers, they're doing this. This is working. So now I can't stop Denise from talking to everybody who knows. And the feeling and burden that's usually on it, of that little bit of uncomfortableness, I don't want to make money off someone I know, and I'm not sure what to say, because that's human nature for the 98%. There's the 2% that could overcome that. But the 98% can't and won't. That all goes away. Denise, did that kind of put the light bulb on? I kind of saw your eyes go like boom. Did that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Very good. We have training today, and I came a long way. My wife's also prepared some training, and just so you know, Mike's going to share some things. What I'm going to share with you today is going to enable Ann. I want Ann, raise your hand. Okay. I've now known Ann when she first began the seminar business. When I first met her, she came down to one of my offices actually in Utah. She came in, remember that boardroom, all boom, came in, and she had that eye of the tiger where she's not only made it, she lived it, and she was ready to teach it by her heart. Meaning she didn't want to be a speaker. She wanted to pay it forward, saying, I made money, now how can I help other people? Because of that, she became unbelievably successful, a multi-millionaire, where people go, oh, Ann Goldsmith, what she touches turns to gold. If Ann's doing it, I got to do it. Okay, let me share something with you. She has that ability, and she has that desire. Claudia, committed, has that. Richard signed up yesterday. Says, Mitch, I'm going across the country. He goes, I'm in. He goes, I just gave this huge business I built for 12 years, gave it to his wife to do. He says he's going to go out and now build this. I go, why? Even his own son said, you're crazy, Dad. He goes, I found something much better, way better. He goes, I want residual income. I want to help all my fellow athletes and everybody else. Do you understand what we're doing? We're paying it forward. And now for the first time in the history of this industry, since 1949, and you can attest to this, no one's put all these three things together to allow human nature, or the 98%, to succeed. Period. That is what makes us different. So what I want to do after we have our bathroom break and lunch break is to share with you specifically and clearly how to not overcomplicate it and how to build literally a 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure income quickly and effectively. And there's 3 rules, or don't come to the next training in the next hour. Rule number 1 is you have to have a desire to do this. If you don't have a desire, don't show up. Why? Number 2, you have to be willing to work. The difference is I'm not only going to ask you to do what you could do. See, every other deal out there says, oh, you have to work and follow the system. The system's awesome. Well, what the system is what only the 2% could do. The system is not what the 98% could do. So even though the system may be simple, it's not duplicatable. Even though the system may be clear, it's not for the 98%. Because what's required to do it is outside of their reach. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's huge. And number 3 is to be teachable. All of us, when we first start this business, because of our past experiences, we believe we know it better. We know we can make it different. We can make it bigger and better. We can refine it. You got to be 100% teachable until you're making at least $25,000 a month. Until you're making $25,000 a month, follow the system. Don't add to it. Don't change it. Don't think you know better. Don't think you got something better. Don't do anything different until you're making $25,000 a month. And once you're making $25,000 a month, tell me your new ideas, and we'll see if we can make it fit inside. That is going to be your way to succeed. Is that fair?
Excellent.
So during the next hour, if you're not yet signed up, you can call up the sales team to do that. That phone number is 1-855-248-9980. That's 1-855-248-9980, so that you can be able to come back to the training, signed up and ready. We're going to take a lunch break, bathroom break, rest break, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you a training that absolutely, literally will give you dot to dot, picture to picture, simple as it can be, not only as a person, but what to do. Is that fair?
Yeah, thank you.
Is that okay?
Excellent.
Would that be helpful?
Amazing.
Okay, Mike, anything else you'd like to do as we close out?
No, just most importantly, what you said is that whole equation of success. Consistency and failure. Everybody that's ever been at the top of this game, that 2% that he's talking about. I failed miserably in the beginning. I was that guy that literally, go out and talk to your family and friends, and I ruined it all, messed it all wrong. I vomited all over everybody. That's a sick thought. But the truth of the matter is, I said all the wrong things, and I chased off my family and friends, and I was that guy that said, okay, what do I do now? We didn't have a lead generation system like that, or a customer, situation. You could go buy leads, which just like in the mortgage business, you can buy leads all day long and they're junk.
Yeah,
or somebody's already trained.
Oh,
Right? But the thing is I literally, here's how determined I was. After I failed so miserably and I quit mentally in my mind 4 or 5 times, and Alex Arnold will never forget. He showed up at my house one night, because I hadn't been in the meetings for like 2 weeks. You were quitting. I was just separating myself slowly. And, how many people have done that? That was already happening to you, wasn't it, Mark? Yep. Mark was already starting to fade away, right? And Ann said, no, you got to come, you got to be here. But the thing that was happening to me, and Alex showed up at my house, I'll never forget, 11:30 at night. And he knocks on my door, and I'm like, who in the world? And he comes in, and he had a present for me. And it was wrapped up, had a bow on it. It was a book. And it was the book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, yeah.
It was the first time I'd ever read it.
Yeah.
But long story short, he comes in, he sits on my couch, and he cried right there with me. And he said, listen, you're not quitting. You're not giving up on yourself. He said, you're not giving up on me.
No.
You're giving up on yourself. You're giving up on your family. You're giving up on your future family. Don't quit. And we sat and talked, and I got back on my horse, and I didn't have anybody else to talk to, and here's what I did. I was so committed that anybody that's ever been to Louisville, Kentucky, there's 2 malls that are within a mile of each other, the 2 largest malls in Louisville, the Mall St. Matthews and the Oxmoor Mall. And I literally went in every Tuesday morning from 10 to 12 into the Oxmoor Mall, and I went into the St. Matthews Mall on Thursdays from 4 to 6.